All right, this is jpeg2RAW, show number 161, recorded on January 12th, 2016. Our first show, Tim, of 2016. And tonight is just me and you. And we're going to have a short show. We're going to talk, well, maybe a short show.
Yeah, allegedly a short show.
I do have something really interesting. Not sure where I'm going to play this. And I can't use the audio because I want to keep this, and I'm going to have to shut the video off at some point. But it is an interesting profession in photography. Let's just say that it's something you probably didn't think somebody could make a living off of this in photography. And I know your mind's already racing with what could it be. I can think of a lot of different things, and we'll just leave it at that for now. What was it, last week? Late last week, we ended the 2015 contest, Best of 2015, Tim, and yes. I know you and I didn't enter because you and I really can't win, so whatever. But we have over $1,300 in prizes. We let people go we let people go a little bit over January 1st or December 31st because if you had entered. If you had a photo that you took on the last day of the year, maybe it was something with New Year's or Christmas and you didn't have time to do it, we wanted you to be able to get it in. So we gave an extra week with that. Good. And for the Best of the Year contest, it's a little bit different than a normal monthly contest. What normally happens in a month is we have some admins, Tim and I are two of them. We review it, narrow it down to 3 images, and those 3 then are judged on a set of criteria. I think it's 4 or 5 different criteria where we rank them from 0 to 10. And then you add up all the scores, and the photo with the most points wins.
You know, surprisingly, I don't think we've had a tie yet.
No, we've had really close.
Close, but haven't had a tie.
Yes.
And I know I'm jinxing us right there by saying that, but no, it's been close, but no ties yet. And it could be easily a tie.
It could be. It could be. And we've had ties like when you narrow it down to the 3, and we have to go to the tiebreaker, which is we have a separate ranking that each person does of each image when they're judging it. So we've had that go to a tiebreaker to get down to the 3, but the final 3, we've not had a tiebreaker. We've had to get to 1 point before. The difference with the Best of 2015 is there's more images usually, and there are more images this time too. Us admins, which is Nikki, Gina, Gordon, Danielle, Tim, and I.
You and I.
I think that's it. Yeah, we pick our top 6. The 6 images that get the most picks by us then go on to what we're calling a panel of celebrity judges, and then those judges do that final ranking of 0 to 10 in 5 or 6 different categories. I can't remember which ones they are. And then whoever wins that gets the most points, that is the winner. And in this case, we also have a second and third place winner who also gets prizes. And unlike in past years, we're also doing a random drawing on several gifts. Remember the Greg, was it Greg Benz?
Yeah.
Who did Luminosity or whatever it is?
Mm-hmm.
We have
Luminosity.
You and I bought a version for us.
We have it.
So he gave us 2 free ones. We're giving those away to a random winner. We're giving away Victoria Bampton's Lightroom Secret 6 to a random winner, to a random person. And then I think we're giving away something else. There's another product there. But what? Go ahead.
I thought you had a book from. Do you have a book from Don?
I do. I don't remember if that's a random giveaway or a winner.
Yeah, I don't
giveaway.
remember what that was for. I know you had one. I just got his. Before Christmas, I got his poster. The snowflake poster looks great.
So that's a ton of prizes. We hope to increase this every year and do that. So next week we're going to announce the winner. Next week we're going to have A.D. Wheeler come on. He's going to go over all 6 of the people. We're going to give some of the judges feedback on those 6 images. AD is going to critique each one of the 6 individually from his standpoint, and then we will announce the second place, third place, second place, and first place winners. That's next week. This time next week. For this show, I thought what we would do, Tim, is show all 33. We're not going to spend a lot of time on each one.
Right. Otherwise, it'll be until tomorrow.
Yeah, show all 33, and then announce the final 6. What do you think of that? And we got Jim out there in chat who is anxiously waiting
with bated breath.
And then I have a couple of news stories I want to go over, including what I was just talking about. But that's going to be at the end.
Yeah, that's the tease.
That's the tease. All right, so let's go over the images. So this is the first one, and I did this in an awesome way where I can't tell who it is. Oh, there it is. I got to stop the slideshow.
I was going to say, stop it.
I got to stop the slideshow. Okay, Tim, you can't see the name, so Tim can't help me here much unless you pulled up on Facebook or something. But
yeah, I might go over there to get it.
I'm going to try and do the names. This one is Alicia Lawson. She submitted, it looks like a boat on, down in Louisiana, we kind of call this on the bayou or something like that. A shrimp, it could be a shrimp boat. It looks like a fishing boat. Down there. All right.
That reminds me of, what was the movie, Forrest Gump?
Yeah, it did.
The lone boat left in the water.
You know what's interesting about this shot? There's going to be another one that seems is from this same area, but completely different.
This is from, I think this is from the Queens side of New York. The other one you're thinking of is from the New Jersey side of New York. So it's a complete opposite view.
Okay. Alicia just came in the chat, and we just had her image up. This one is from, I'm not going to get the name right here, Bayardine.
I might get to it soon.
I will pause while you try and get to it. Some of these, Tim, you won't have because they were submitted directly through the website, which was one of the ways to enter.
Oh, and I'm in the website, so and it doesn't. You're right; it doesn't have the name of the person on this. I'd have to do it through Facebook.
Yep. You want to do that while?
Yep. I'm getting there. I'm slow.
So, Alicia, I know you came, I don't know if you heard the first part there. Tonight, we're going to go show each one of the 33, have a few other news stories, and also announce the final 6. Next week is when we'll have A.D. Wheeler on to discuss and go over review all 6 of the finalists and announce the winner.
Bayardine Ukulele. Wow, that's.
I think you got the last name wrong. Sorry.
Wow.
But this looks like a.
That's a hard name.
Yeah, for us, it's a hard name.
For us.
What is this? You said this is the Queen side or the?
I believe that's the Queen side of New York.
Okay, and obviously it looks like a slow motion photo, or he did some.
Yeah,
or
actually,
he did some.
He talked about. I think he had a neutral density filter on the top of it, to slow down the top, or.
So for the audio listeners, it's a scene of the New York skyline, and he's the skies. You can tell the motion in the skies. The time lapse or the slow shutter creating the streaking of the sky. And the color is fantastic.
I like the top of the sky that way. That was actually a pretty cool way of doing it.
Yeah, the color is fantastic. All right, let's go to the next one. This one is Bev Nelson Robson.
Mm-hmm. Bev Nelson Robson.
Yep. And I don't have any information pulled up on it, but looks like a fairly calm, clear beach.
Yeah, it's in
shore
in Shirley's Bay in Ottawa, Canada.
Yeah, with some rocks.
I feel like I've seen these rocks before, but somewhere. Maybe we had a photographer once that has been on our show that had this picture. It looks familiar. So this must be a popular photo to take. But I love how these rocks are there.
Yeah.
And the reflections, the clear water for a good reflection too.
On this one, I don't know. It's too bad AD doesn't have time to go over every image because one, you and I aren't professionals. For me, it seems a little over processed, and I would like to have seen a little more with the rule of thirds come in, where maybe the angle of the rocks went into the lower right hand corner and then went out that way.
Right, to lead your eye, as opposed to coming from the side of the screen. That big rock should have been at the lower right corner.
Yeah.
So that it leads your eye out to the water.
Yeah. So that's my one criticism of that one. This one, I remember when this is Brian Cusado. He was on the show one time. And I remember when he posted this one in the group, and I really like this one. This one is a Sequoia National Forest, I think it is. He's got the sun coming through the trees. Really good, crisp shot.
Yeah, I like that with the sun rays coming through. That just brings a lot of drama to a picture.
It does. This is one
Otherwise,
of the ones I really liked.
it'd be very plain looking. Even though it would be a beautiful picture, it looks much better with it.
Yeah. Oh no, the sun thing made it. This one is Bruce Lee. This one's from Bruce Lee.
Back from the dead.
Back from the dead. I don't have the information pulled up, so I don't know what mountain this is.
Just says evening reflection is all he had. I don't know if he had something written more in the in the show for it when he put it on.
So it's a snow-covered mountain with the reflection in the lake, and yeah, I mean it's a nice image. It's a little bit too much purple in it, maybe for me. I don't know if that's how it really looked or whether he post-processed it that way.
Yeah, I don't know, but I do love the reflection in the water. This is something like if you had a painting, this is something I would at least I would have had.
Yeah, and I think the framing is really good too.
I like the frame, and then having that log there in the water really helped it. I think if you didn't have that log there, then maybe the framing would look off. In my mind.
Interesting. That's I don't know. I couldn't decide whether I like the log or not. I do like the trees in the background, how they come in toward the mountain. I think those lead your eyes there. Yep. So yeah, okay, good image. This one is from Carlos Larrea.
Costa Rican bird.
Costa Rican bird.
Yep.
I don't know what kind of bird.
Arneal, Costa Rica. Really hard to get pictures of the bird. Hotel owners cut bananas to attract the birds, and I'm guessing that's what it is on the bottom. That must be bananas there to get the birds to come close. So I like that he explained that also.
And that, sometimes you look at an image and you don't know it looks, because it's a still capture. You never know what it really took to get that image. So putting some of that information in there helps with that. All right, next one. This one is Charles Busch, and it's a very, very snowy scene with a bridge going through it and two street lights. I think this one, to me, this one was on the edge of being really good. It was lacking a little bit. I don't know if maybe the lights, if they were a little bit brighter or crisper, but I really like this kind of scene.
And this reminds me of what's that? The painter of light, Thomas Kincaid. The type of picture you would see from him, and I thought about that with the lights. Could you get them brighter? But to get them brighter, you probably have to have a little longer exposure, and then you get streaks from the snow. So it's probably very difficult to do it as well. Yeah. But I like that picture.
I do too. All right, next is Chris Anderson, and this is looks like the shoreline. I don't know,
North California coast.
I was going to guess California because of the steep cliffs of the shoreline coming in and some of the sky there.
I thought this was a little too dark.
Toward the shore, yeah.
Yeah.
There were spots of it that had the sun coming through. I'm not sure I liked those spots where the sun came. I wish the sun came through with that water that was hitting at the beach or the shore.
And that's what I'm and that's obviously hard to get. I mean, it depends when you walk up there, but I think maybe you need to come back another day to get that. But the clouds are great in the background, though. So maybe you're going to miss that the next time. So that's the only thing. Maybe the sun, because you got that sun on the rock to the left. And maybe that's what's distracting because you have that sun there.
That sun is distracting. Again, so Daryl H. is out there now. I don't remember if Daryl submitted a photo or not. This is just us, Tim and I, going through them very quick. We will announce the final 6 at the end of the show or toward the end of the show. And then next week is where we announce the winner. All right. Now, this one is Christine Halber. And this is the large array out in, was it New Mexico or Arizona?
Mexico.
Yeah.
New Mexico.
And she got the array of all those, what look like massive satellites. Not satellites. What are those called? The satellite
radar
antennas.
Dishes.
Yeah, radar dishes. And then she's got the Milky Way, the sky coming through. I think that's the Milky Way, whatever that is. The sky where you can see all the stars and everything, and a blue tint to it. I love this one.
I absolutely love this. And to top it off, this was stitched together 7 pictures.
Yeah.
Which made it more difficult. And then she said, right after she completed the last set of pictures, all the antennas pointed different directions. And I think she had said this is the first time all of them had been pointing straight up. So I don't know, is it a test? They probably, I'm sure they run a lot of tests on everything to get them all aligned at one point, and then they go through the test with it. But I love this shot, and I would love to. This is the type of thing that you would love to be there. And I guess the only bad thing is it doesn't convey the scale of this. I know the size of it because I've seen like a person standing next to it, and you realize it's the size of like a 10-story building or maybe even bigger, each one of these. Yeah. And it's just amazing.
Especially the way we have to show it, because we have to show it in, it's very wide, which makes it very narrow.
Right.
Right. So it looks smaller. You don't get the scale effect at all. All right. Next one is Dan Modern. And this is one that is a bird. And if you study it for a little bit, it's like a hawk or a red-tailed hawk or something like that. And after you look at it for a little bit, you realize it's eating a duck with parts of the duck lying around.
My wife's like, wait a second, what is it? Oh my God. And
I did not notice it at first. It's a great shot. It's nature. It's what happens.
It's circle of life.
Circle of life. And it's very, the color is great. The framing is great. The sharpness is good. You just got to get past the fact that the duck is not all in one piece.
It's not a happy duck.
No. All right. This one is, this is Daryl out in chat right now.
Yes.
This is the Statue of Liberty with New York behind it. And that, I guess, is the lights representing the Twin Towers.
Correct. And that was done on 9/11. And they've done that quite a few years. And this is where you realize, as big as the Statue of Liberty it is, and you look at it now in the perspective of it, it's small there. And this is from the Jersey side.
This is from the Jersey side, yeah. And so these city scenes, I really like these city scenes. It's well framed, the shot. You got the lights of the city. It's a nighttime shot. Really good shot. And I'm sure it means something special to you, Tim, since you up in that area. Yes.
Yep. I've been down to that area a couple of times since. So,
I mean, I think the Twin Towers mean something to all of America, even those of us who've never been to New York, but especially to those of you who live around New York. All right. This one I'm going to tell you is one of my absolute favorites of the group. And I know that not everybody, all the admins, voted this one as high as I did. But to me, if you're going to do a macro shot, there has to be something to it. You have to have something to it. I just love this one. This is from Dean Stone. This is several blueberries with water drops all over them. To me, the framing is awesome. The color is awesome. The detail is incredible. I know it's just blueberries, but
it took me a while to figure out what it was. I actually had to read what it was before I realized what it actually was.
Yeah, it's blueberries, and it's just fantastic, I think. And of course, his entire background is blueberries. So the focus is on 2 main blueberries right up front, and then the rest of them are fading out. I hope it makes it to the final 6.
We will find out.
This one's from Debbie Henry. It is a beach house in part of the beach. I don't have any.
Christmas Day in St. Augustine, Florida.
There you go. Christmas Day in St. Augustine, Florida. Yep. All right, let's move on to the next one. This one is Dylan
Coetzee.
And it's several boats beached, several small boats beached with a nice, I don't know if that was slow motion, a slow shutter to get the sky like that, or just the sky was like that. And then I guess that's the sun, or is that the moon? I'm guessing the sun.
I'm going to guess them. I don't, that's a good question. Because what did he write? A picture I've taken September in Paternoster at night, so it's got to be the moon. Fishermen usually leave their boats out at the beach, and something I always wanted to capture. Love to go back and improve this image. So no, that's probably the moon, and it's probably a very long exposure to get everything that bright. So you had a bright moon, and that's probably lit from that. So this is one I'd like to know what the exposure was on this.
And that probably is what's making the clouds look like they're
right. Look like they're moving
by there. So I like this shot. The color is good in it, even though it's a night shot. The color is good. It's a good shot for me. All right, this one I don't even know if I can do this one at all. This name.
Let's see, Farouk Islam.
Okay. This I'm not going to be able to do any better. This one, and we're almost halfway through. This one is another lake scene with a really strong orange, the sunset sky. I imagine it's sunset sky, reflection of the sky reflected in the water. To me, this one, what makes this one is all that orange in the sky. That strong color there.
And you know what? I think his description of it, also called Wings of Fire, is really a good. It's almost like a sideways at the wings going like it's laying down, and those are the wings of an angel.
Yeah,
I mean that's a great description on it.
And I think if he didn't give that description, I don't know if I would have noticed that right away.
Right. You're right. I probably wouldn't have accepted that he put it in that way. And to me, that was great.
Now, it's hard to judge if you're not actually at the scene, because you don't know what opportunities you had. But I probably would have liked to have seen a little less of the shoreline that is right up against them, the foreground shoreline.
Right.
I'd like to see a little less of that.
Yeah, maybe step a little closer so you get more water there with the reflection.
What you don't know is what that would do to the reflection in the water, whether that messed it up. So I don't know. Maybe he tried that and it just didn't work. All right, this next one is by our very own Gina Perry. She entered this in one of the monthly contests, and this is a black and white. I really like black and white images, and I think this may be our only black and white submitted this year. A black and white won last year. And this is our only black and white submitted this year. It's two young girls, one quite a bit taller than the other, and the smaller one looking up to the taller one. They're both in dresses, maybe a wedding dress or
that's what I was thinking, like a bridal party.
Yeah, bridal party, something like that. And Gina always does a great job of black and white conversion, and this is just another example of a great black and white conversion.
I agree completely.
All right. This one is by Gordon Ruff. I said that right?
Mm-hmm.
Two dogs. He's got it at a slight angle. His colors are always fantastic, and that is the same here. The leaves, the autumn leaves, are that beautiful autumn color. The two dogs running. Looks like one of the dogs has a leaf in its mouth, and they're running. And dogs always look happy when they're running. What is that? And
because their cheeks get pulled back.
Yeah. So that one dog, you can see his cheeks just looks fantastic. If I had any criticism is that the green on the far left side is a little bit distracting for me. That's about it.
See, and to me, until you said that the leaf was in his mouth, I thought the leaf bounced up and was blocking his face, and to me that was distracting. Okay. More so distracting than the green on the left.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it did bounce up. If it did bounce up, it'd been better without it. If it was in his mouth, I don't know how you stop that. I don't know how you stop it either way. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, I do love the depth of field of it. How you could see the leaves right around them or what's in focus, and then everything else is out of focus. So you could tell that the tree to the left, I guess, which is that green moss, they were probably a good 5 feet beyond it, and that's why that's out of focus. So that wasn't distracting to me. I like that.
Okay. It does add some color contrast there.
Yes.
All right, this is the other one I was talking about, the New York one. And
this is very similar to the other. It's the same exact location.
This is Heather Williams. I think it was I forget her name of it, like Morning something or something like that. I've gone back and forth on this one. And on the one hand, I think that this is, first off, nothing is in focus, I don't think. But I think it's intentional.
Ears.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this is intentional. So it's not like she doesn't know what she's doing. She did this, and to me, that kind of made the image. When I look at it, I don't look at it with the thought of why isn't anything in focus. I look at it. There's a mood to it. You got the New York skyline, which is completely blurred. You got the sun coming up on the left hand side of the skyline, and then you have, I don't know what those little pier things are.
Those are pilings.
Well, those pilings.
Yeah, I guess the pier's not there anymore. They must have taken it off.
They got all the pilings that are there, and then the rock that's right there. And she put an overall, what is that, purple tint to it or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is probably where the old Brooklyn Navy Yard was, I'm going to guess, is where this picture's taken from.
Yeah. So I really like this one. This is a good one, too.
Yeah, and you're right. The fact that it's not in focus does not distract at all.
Mm-mm. All right. All right, this one is Jane. I'm going to skip the middle name because I can't pronounce it.
Kostrika, Gubiman.
Yeah, we apologize for not getting the names correctly.
They're probably laughing every time we say something. They're like, oh my
God. It wrong. What's even worse is sometimes when I get the sex wrong because I can't tell by the name. Jane, I'm assuming is a female, but it could be a guy. Who knows? So if I get it wrong, sorry. You can email me at podcast@jpeg2RAW.com. All right. This one is, I don't know what town.
New York City.
New York, another New York. It is a building reflecting other buildings. Do you know where this is, Tim?
No, I mean, there's a lot of buildings like this in New York, and I don't know specifically where it is, but what I did like about this picture also was that third floor there. I mean, I assume it's a third floor where you have it lit up. So it shows you that it's another building there, not just even though you know it's a reflection, it shows it's a building reflection. You know what I'm trying to say? You know
what's funny is if when I look at this and don't concentrate on that third floor, I almost wonder if it's a reflection of like a train going by.
Right.
And then as I concentrate on it, I can see, no, you're seeing into the building
right.
That's reflecting the other buildings.
And of course, to me, that's very cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And you have an angle, it's taken at an angle. So another New York shot, we had several architecture shots this time.
Yeah. A lot of people from New York.
All right, this is Gina Williams, and I believe she called this Bella. I don't think you have this one in your group. This was one that I think it was emailed to me. And this is a young girl looking up at us with dark glasses and blue shirt. And, I like the smile on the girl. The colors are good. The sharpness is good. If I had anything to complain about it, maybe that leaf that's on her right shoulder that's sticking up there, if you could have cloned that out or just pulled it off the tree.
Right.
And maybe the one up by her head.
Oh, you mean the branch?
The branch, yeah.
I was going to say there's a leaf up by it. Like, what are you looking at?
That's a branch. And that's just as I look at it for a while. When you first look at it, I go right to her eyes, which is where you probably want to go. All right.
Correct.
Let's go to the next one. This is another macro shot, John Busey.
I like this.
This is the color just really goes with this shot. The yellow color. This is a bee. He's over in the right third of the image. It's a macro of the bee. Got a lot of detail in the bees. Bees on whatever kind of yellow flower that is. I'm not up on flowers.
Yeah,
but you. And then everything else is blurred out behind. You can't tell anything about what's behind it. But it all has that yellow tone to it. Really good.
And this is a very fast picture also, because you look at his wing and it is completely stopped. So I wonder if he used a flash on this to stop that, because you got to think that, well, maybe not. Maybe the bee was sitting there.
Bee might have been stopped for.
Yeah, I'm not. Now that I'm thinking about that, maybe it was stopped.
So either he's really good or got lucky, or he spent a lot of time trying to get this thing, because these little bees don't stay in one spot for very long. So you're probably chasing them all over the place, taking shot after shot, or you just staked out this flower and just waited for somebody
for it to come.
Yeah. Either way, it probably took a lot of effort. All right, this one is Ferris Wheel by Jonathan Wangelin. Ferris Wheel, and I don't know where it's at. It's obviously a nighttime shot because it's got a really slow shutter. You can tell by the flag that's up there.
Now, what did you think? He wrote in there that the timing of the train was perfect. Now you could see there's a train that drove by here, and it leaves that dark line across the top. I'm not so certain I liked it.
Yeah, I agree.
I went back and forth on it.
At first, because you can't tell it's a train, it's a cool effect because with that slow shutter speed, you were almost able to blur the train out. So that's kind of cool that you're able to do that. But if you didn't tell me there was a train there, I wouldn't know what's going on.
Right, I never would have known.
And I would almost wonder, what is this weird streak you got going through here?
And now that he mentions it, you see you can see the train tracks, I guess.
Yeah. So it is a cool effect. I always like that where you have such a slow shutter speed that you can blur things out and they just sometimes just completely go away. It's a really. I
wonder how long this was. This had to be probably over a minute. You think with the train going by, you could see the Kewanee, the blue light into the track there, which is actually really nice. Also,
yeah.
I looked up. Kewanee was from Illinois.
Okay.
And so to me that I like the shot.
Yep. All right, this one is Christopher Trolley, and it's a room. It's a weird room with.
I think it was an exhibition, right?
Yeah, it's a museum somewhere in New Orleans, I believe it is. A weird room with a weird room inside of it. Everything is yellow with black dots. And then I'm assuming that this is a slow motion and that's a person that just almost got blurred out is what I'm guessing there.
See, and that's what I was trying to figure out. Was that a person? Is that there? Was there a ghost in the room and he caught it on the picture? I don't know.
I don't know. It's a different shot for sure.
Yes.
It's interesting. It makes you want to ask a bunch of questions like,
yes, it does.
Why would they do this? All right. This one is Lillian Wise. It's I think there's a blue bonnet or some kind of flower, a field of flowers. Young girl in a pink and white dress with a teddy bear. If I had to, well, go ahead.
This is one where I think having that bear helped to give a little extra element. But yeah. I like the depth of field, the flowers around her, and that's it. Everything else is blown out. It's a well-placed shot.
Yeah. She's almost center frame, which I think if she was a little bit more center frame, that would have been, I wouldn't have liked that. I would like to have been a little bit more to the left of the frame. But she's almost center frame. The bear, like you said, does add to it. I know she probably wanted to show the full pink, was that like tutu or whatever? I don't know.
Tutu, yeah.
Skirt, whatever that is there. And because I thought that maybe having more of the bear up front would have been better.
No, I think it's better in the back. And I kind of like the angle of where the bear's looking like what's over there and she's looking over at us.
Yep. It'll be so interesting to hear what AD says next week in all the ways we were wrong.
Yeah. Really? That's what you guys are thinking? No.
Yeah. All right. This one is Mark Dement. And it's another... It is what is it called? I don't know if it's Milky Way. I keep saying Milky Way. It is Milky Way. But it's
March before the Milky Way season starts.
Okay. So this is another, really slow motion shot of the sky where you're getting all the stars and everything in the sky.
Well, yeah, but what I really liked about this picture then was the stars were reflected in the water.
Yeah, that was a cool effect.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before. So that was really, really nice in this picture.
Yeah, because often
then you had the lights from almost looks like like mini camps in the back, like about 2 inches up. Well, 2 inches.
For me, and I don't know about maybe for you too. There's so much light pollution around here because I live near Atlanta. That
I live in New York.
Yeah, so for us, it's really almost impossible to get these kind of shots because of all the light pollution. Here, I imagine he's dealing with light pollution too, and it does. You could say it distracts from the image, but I think he made use of it really good.
Well, I think the part of it that helps it looks like you got a blue, a yellow, a red.
Yeah.
It's not the same color going across. It's different colors, which is what helped. And I really like to know what that was in the background.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. All right, this one, Melissa Sanchez, and I'm always happy when I see Melissa joining. Contributing to a contest. Melissa, I think, won back when we first started doing contests.
Yes, right at the beginning.
She won like 2 in a row. I don't know if she won our first one, but I think she won the second and third and then almost won like the fourth, and then said, "I'm not going to join anymore," because she was starting to feel guilty about winning all the time. So this one is a tree that's at center frame, foggy, whatever it is, morning or afternoon, I don't know, foggy morning. I'm going to say morning. Foggy morning with the sun coming. The tree is leafless, almost leafless, and the sun is coming through the fog through the tree.
And I like the way she put that there, with the sun right at the base of where the branches split out, and she had wrote that it was almost the picture doesn't probably convey how foggy it probably was, because she said her and her husband were driving and had a problem seeing through the fog, and they'd pulled over and took the shot, and it was probably very foggy. But the sun, I guess, taking the picture until the sun got rid of some of it.
Yeah, I love photos, foggy, taking photos in fog.
I mean,
don't
the only
edit
thing
them very well.
I probably would have lowered a little less of the sky on the top.
Okay. Yep. All right, next one. This one is Michael Wilson, and I can't remember the name of it. Golden Trail or something like that, I think is the name he gave it. This is one that you probably don't see, Tim. I think this is one that, or maybe it is. Is this in the Facebook group, or was this submitted?
No, it's not in Facebook. This is
one that's submitted to the website. I don't know if I like this guy, that golden color. It's just it's a weird color that you don't see normally. But what he's doing is making the train tracks. He does start off in a lower third, and then goes out, so your eye does follow that, making them golden, and then giving that same tone to the overall feel of the image.
See, and the good thing about it was the way he cropped this picture, the sun in the top left, you can see the rays from the sun. But if he had gone just a little bit up, the sun would have blinded it, and it would have distracted from this picture.
It would have been,
I think that made this a very good picture.
Yeah. All right, next. All right, this one is Mike Caleta, who's been on the show three times or so, who's a master of lighting and just a master of a lot of stuff. And what you don't know is this is a model. She's center frame. She's got her hair up in 3 buns, and she's looking down or whatever, and she's got a nice see-through gown going on, and then a gown underneath that. And Mike, when he describes this, is he laid the wood for the floor, he painted the background,
painted the walls.
He painted the walls. He put up some other things. So he
put up trim and decor.
So he went through a lot of work to produce this one shot. And I'm sure, he didn't even talk about all the lighting he had to do, probably because for him that's second nature, and setting up the lighting for this shot, is perfect. He didn't even talk about that because it's not a big deal to him, because he just does it all the time. But just absolutely gorgeous. And of course, he always gets gorgeous models.
Yes.
All right. Next is Mike Demong. I think this is one that was submitted to the website. And I think he might have entered this one in one of the previous contests. I like this image. It's sharp up front and then blurs to the background. You can see the autumn colors. It's a little creek, a little rocky creek with actually big rocks coming down, the water coming down, and a bridge in the background.
Yeah, I think the composition of this is great, and having that bridge in the background really makes this picture, because otherwise it's just your normal picture of a fall scene with a lazy river coming down and blurring out the water. But having the stability of the bridge in the background, I think, adds a lot of character to the photo.
And one thing I'll say, that bridge in the background, this is where I would get screwed up, and hopefully would fix it in post. But that bridge, needs to be level when you get done with this. You might have taken a shot and the bridge is a little bit cockeyed or whatever, going up at an angle, one way or the other. But when you get, and Mike did this where it is
straight
level.
Across.
Just that horizon, watching your horizon, and in this case, a bridge, watching that bridge to make sure it's level. And Mike did. Not me, Mike. The Mike who submitted that. All right, this one is by Nikki, one of the admins. And this one, you might have a few PG words in it, but this is, I guess, an old school.
No, it's a funeral home.
Oh, well, funeral home with a chalkboard?
Yeah, she described it, taken at the House of Wills in Cleveland, Ohio, with the owner's permission. The House of Wills was formerly a funeral home. And I thought also this was a chalkboard. So I'm not quite sure why that's there, but
Yeah.
that's what she wrote at least.
So I like images that make you stay around for a while and explore the image. And this one is a long hall. At the end of the hall is, do you have any idea who that is at the end of the hall?
No clue.
It is Abe Robinson.
Oh,
who's been on the show twice. Dark Glamour,
yes.
Abe Robinson from,
Yes.
what is it? I can't remember the name of his studio. But that's him at the end of the hall. Nikki was shooting with him, and the I'm guessing a chalkboard. I don't know for sure that's a chalkboard, but the left-hand side of the chalkboard with some interesting phrases and words on there that make leave you for a while to read that.
Well, and I just found a post in Facebook about it. The House of Wills was built around 1905. This thing's moved from a social club to an institute, a hospital, a speakeasy, a church, and then a funeral home in 41. Geez, this was a lot of things, this place.
Yeah. All right, now we're on to Sheen Barkley. Did I say it right?
Sean
Barkley. And so we've had a couple more people join chat. Tonight, Tim and I just going over the photos. We're going to announce the final 6. Next week, we have AD Wheeler back. AD is going to do a review of at least the 6. He may do some more, but at least the 6, and then we'll announce the winner next week. All right. So this is Sean doing a canoe going down rapids.
Mm-hmm. I could not do this.
The canoeing or the photo?
Yeah, I could do the photo, but in rapids like that, yeah, no, I'd be upside down going down.
Yeah, in a canoe I would be too. I like doing it in a raft, but in this image, he's got the motion. You can feel the motion of the boat going through. The boat is blurred with a motion blur. I can't tell from what I'm looking at here, and I don't remember whether the canoer is steady or not. But I thought, it's interesting image that I'm sure he's right at the shore.
Right.
Okay. This one is, you're going to have to pronounce this one.
All right. Let's see. Sashi Sadishivan.
Yes.
Sashi Sadishivan.
I think the title for this one was like Story Bridge. If that maybe that means something to you.
It's actually at Story Bridge.
At Story Bridge.
So it's in Brisbane, Old Australia.
Ah, okay. Another one with I don't know if that's because the sun is going down there that's creating those.
Yeah,
those awesome,
that was my guess. That's the rays from the sun, as it's just probably peaking down below and
it's creating rays that are just massive. They really envelop the entire skyline.
See, now I think also this. I wonder how long this exposure was, because you see the wake from a boat that had just driven by. Mm-hmm. So this, and I doubt that boat was doing 40.
Well, yeah, what you don't see though is that boat, a streak of the boat. So these are going to have to be really slow shutter speed to completely remove the streak, or not that slow that it didn't get it in there. All right, and last one. Yeah, is Tom Sandlin. And this one is a sunset in Kentucky, I think is what it was, something like that.
Yeah. Okay,
Tom, I would say, I don't know what the goal was here with this one.
I love the colors.
The colors are okay. There's a lot that needs to be worked on here. I would hope Tom would come and join a Facebook group. And, I don't know Tom. I don't know what he's done, but I would love for him to come join the Facebook group and talk with him more and find out what he wants to get out of photography and how, we can help him grow, or how others can help him grow. Because this one to me needs a lot of work.
Yeah, this was taken with a Galaxy S4.
Oh, okay. This is a cell phone one.
Yeah, it's a cell phone picture.
I will tell you what's deceiving. So, and this could be, and you mentioned this in the pre-show, Tim. What's deceiving is things that look good on your cell phone, and I'm going to show. Let me pull this back up. Things that look good on your cell phone don't always look good on your computer. This is a Note 5 with I think it's a 16 megapixel camera. And I'm taking photos inside with low light and going, oh, holy crap, this thing is fantastic.
That's right.
Do I really need my SLR anymore? And then you pull them up on my computer and it's like, oh, wait.
Yeah, that was nuts. So
they're good when they're on this little bitty tiny screen, which this is a big screen for a phone. But they're good when they're there. But when you pull them up on the computer, you realize, yeah, that little tiny sensor can't compete with a big sensor in our cell phones.
Correct. That's when you realize it.
Yeah, that's when you realize it. But, you know, if you're sharing on Facebook, if that's what your goal is to share on Facebook, and I do a lot of that too. A lot of us do. Phones now take more photos than anything. For sharing on Facebook and that kind of stuff, you know, these are great. And in good lighting, they're good too.
Correct.
All right. So before we go, and we're gonna go the whole hour, Tim. Good gosh.
Hey, come on! You had to know that was coming.
Yeah. Before we go into the final six that made the six that made it to the finals. Do I have 6? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I wanted to go over a couple of news stories if I can find them. Let me get them pulled up.
Well, I will say, and I know I mentioned it during the pre-show, I definitely had issues narrowing it down to 6. I would love to have gone to 8.
I did too. And what for me, what's hard is, you know, I see ones that I really like and maybe the other judges don't agree and aren't voting for it. And like, come on, please vote for mine. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to influence other people's votes. And so my favorites don't always make it to the finals. And it'd be interesting. And what I always wonder is when you get a group of people who are voting, we all have our different backgrounds. We all have our different likes. You know, there were no baby photos this time like there were last year, but some people are going to be baby photos are their favorites. Not going to vote for those because they're skewed toward liking the baby photos. Some people are going to not vote for them because they don't like baby photos. So your personal preferences always come through the voting. So, you know, we all have our different personal preferences. So my favorites don't always win.
Right, exactly.
All right, Tim. So, you know, a few weeks ago, we've been out for a while. You and AD somewhat were trying to get me to switch over to Sony, right?
Oh, and I will say that one picture of the radar arrays, whatever, I can't think that was taken with a Sony A7.
And I don't have anything against Sony. Sony, you know, is really making a difference, forcing Nikon and Canon to do things. But I just can't come to do it. And, you know, I see things like I'm about to show you that make me think I'm not leaving Nikon. So Nikon just in the last little bit announced the new Nikon D500, which is a replacement for the D300. It's a DX camera, so it's still a crop sensor. It is like the prosumer or enthusiast level. It's not what they call their pro line. The D500, it's 20 megapixels, I believe it is. So it's not, you know, it's not up there with some of the big megapixel guys, but it's still 20 is very reasonable. And they also announced the D5, which is probably going to be out of my price range. But the D5, which is their pro level camera, is what, you know, the sports guys are going to use. And I'm just going to show you a little quick thing here. And hopefully we can have the sound come through too. I'm going to play a little YouTube video. It's not very long, 42 seconds. I don't even know if I show the whole thing. So this is going to show you a D5, 12 frames per second shooting with a 200 photo RAW buffer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not. Can you hear that?
No, I probably can't hear it. It probably comes out over the.
Those are raw images it's taken.
200 frame buffer.
Yeah, I actually I put the sound onto the podcast side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and he's just got his finger down on it now. I'm listening to it. It's like, oh my God, that's
200 frame buffer on with a 12 frames per second shooting. I think this is also a 20 megapixel. The little dots you're seeing moving around, that's the autofocus. It's crazy. It's really an improved autofocus. The D500 gets the same autofocus, so I'm sure at a much, much lower price. 4K video, which I'm not all that much into video out of my
I'm not there.
DSLR, but I can't see me moving to Sony.
No, if you got all the lenses, I don't blame you.
Okay, so that is one thing, and then I'm gonna leave us with the thing I teased at the beginning of the show, and then we'll do the final six. And this is, I can't play the audio. I got to mute this audio. Let me. I don't want to hold long a discussion on this topic, but this is something I could not believe someone makes a living, money off of this. And it's a photographer. They do this. This is what they do for photography.
Somebody's got to do it. Remember that.
Somebody's got to do it. Let's cue it up. And then I'm muting the audio. There's no nudity. I'm going to stop it before there's any nudity, so don't worry about that. But as you can see, this is someone who takes pictures of males' privates for their living. I can't.
I saw where she was pointing the cat.
Yes. So we're going to go ahead and just stop that there. There's no nudity in here, so I was going to show that anyway. But good gosh, doing that for a living.
All righty then.
So let me bring it back. She dresses it up later in different clothing. And that's what she publishes. They do mute out all the photos there so you can't actually see it. Yes.
All right.
You think you've heard it all.
Yes. You think I've seen it all.
And then you see this.
Yep.
So in chat, they're not talking about that.
I'm looking at chat. I'm like, I know they're a little behind, but wow.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring that up anymore. What they're talking about is going through all those photos, and
she's like on
the with the D5.
I just said not doing it for a living. There's a demand for it.
Apparently, there is. The person, I forget what they're doing. They're making good money off that. There's an article in what is it? F-Stoppers, I think it is, that talks about it. I didn't show any nudity.
Yeah, but I know what she was doing. That's just as bad.
Going back to the D5 and talking about all those images. So when I shoot with an 8 frame per second camera, and the 8 frame per second camera, I don't shoot 8 frames per second, just hold it down.
Right.
I shoot in like 3-4 shot bursts. And sometimes, especially if you're shooting a baseball batter at a baseball, at the home plate, you take those images, and those I may shoot like a lot. I may just hold it down and shoot through the whole swing. And then you look at it and go, I really want that ball compression when it hits the bat. Mm-hmm. At 8 frames per second, you've got to be really on top of it to get that. And really, some of it, to me at least, is luck, getting that shot just right. So I often, miss that. And I'm thinking, if you had a little bit faster frames per second, you might have a better shot at getting it. I don't know. I think it sounds really cool, though.
Yeah.
All right.
But when are you going to, I think my camera takes 12 frames per second, and I don't have a 200 frame buffer. And it always surprised me. It's like, why can't they build more memory into the camera for that? Yeah. You think I would think that's all it really is. I mean, there's got to be some other limitation to it. Like, I'm surprised cameras don't have onboard memory in its own right in the first place, as opposed to always needing a memory card just in case those times. I mean, I've taken pictures where I've taken a half dozen pictures, 20 pictures, like, oh my God, I don't have a card in there.
You know, and you might say, well, why would I need a 200 frame buffer? I mean, when am I going to use that? The one time I ran into needing a big buffer like that was when I was shooting, I think it was high school gymnastics, not high school cheerleading competition. And I got there and was shooting the few of the competitions before the person I was going to be shooting. And I shoot raw, you know, come in there and I shoot raw. I usually even shoot raw for sports. And I come there and the people, the competitors are on the court, whatever they call that, for literally like 2 minutes. And they are flying, you know, the whole time. So you find yourself to get all the girls and guys who are doing the event, get a shot of all of them. You are just pounding the camera. I mean, you were, you know, 3 shots here, 3 shots there, just moving around like that. And I, probably like 30 seconds into the 2 minute competition, my buffer was full. And now it's click, click, click as I wait for the buffer to do it. So I said, okay, that's the end of using RAW for cheerleading competition. So I moved over to shoot JPEG, which, you know, was fine. And I had a much bigger buffer there. But if I had that 200 image buffer, I would have stayed in RAW.
But can you imagine now going back to edit that?
Well,
I mean, how many would you flag? Pick, reject.
That's where the pick, reject. The culling would take a while, but the editing, as far as, you know, you would just do it in Lightroom and do get some of them and copy that on through.
Copy paste, right? Yeah. Because they're all going to be the same otherwise.
Yep. All right, so we're at the hour, and let's go ahead and let me get the images set up here. Oh, crap.
Oh, we just went to PG.
Well, one of them they're coming through weird. So I'm going to have to set one of them up differently. All right, I got that one set up there. This one, it like stretched it. Really weird. All right, first one up is Mike Caleta with the model. You know,
I love that picture.
Yeah, love that picture too. Awesome image. Second one up is Jane. I can't pronounce the name.
Don't make me try and figure it out again.
Jane Gobelman with the building reflection, the New York building reflection. Technical difficulties. Okay. I don't know what she's talking about. I figured it out.
I don't know if it's on naming. I think it was you had problems with the resizing of the pictures.
So I got that one fixed, and I'm going to show that one now. So we've done 2. Third one up, and these are in no particular order. These are just in whatever order I got them here. Third one up is...
It doesn't matter. We're not voting for the finals now.
Third one up is Gina Perry with the black and white. Our one black and white image submitted this year. All right. Whoops. That is not the next one up. That is the thing sliding on its own. So let me go back to this one.
So we still have 3.
So that's 3. So we have 3 more to go. Okay. Thought he said he was waiting until next week. Good. Daryl, this is the 6th that the admins picked to go to the celebrity judging panel. I went over this in the first part of the show. I don't know if you were there, but the regular admins picked 6 images. We all pick 6, and the top 6 go on to a celebrity judging panel where they will then do a ranking of the images based on, I think it's 5 or 6 different criteria, a 0 to 10 ranking, and whichever image gets the most votes, the most points, is then the winner. And I'm going to pull up I'm going to get rid of that video because nobody wants to see that video again. Hopefully I didn't burn your eyes too much. I stopped it before it got too far. I just was dumbfounded that somebody's making money doing that? Who's buying that stuff? Who is buying that?
That's a good question.
I just don't understand. That makes no sense. All right, so we've got 3 images. Before we go into the final 3, so I can delay this even further, I'm going to go to this. And this is the prizes. So first place, again, next week, let's go down to that. Next week, we'll have the panel of celebrity judges, which is Andy Wheeler. Was a judge last year. He's a Arcana master, great photographer altogether. Andy Bloxham, who's been on the show once or twice. Can't remember what he's been on there. I think he's a college professor, amongst other things, and he does a lot of work in the arts. Blake Rudis, who's one of the donors of some of the gifts, some of the stuff, has been on the show to talk about HDR editing and about his zone system. And then, of course, Don Com, macro photographer, landscape photographer, and
Snowflake extraordinaire.
The prizes. So 2 random people, doesn't have to be a winner, will get a copy of Greg Ben's Lumenzia. So we'll pick, even if you're not in the top 6, or if you're not one of the 3 finalists, the 3 winners, you can still win this. And one other person will get a copy of Lightroom, Victoria Bampton's Lightroom CC6, The Missing FAQ book.
Great book.
So 3 people who you don't have to be a winner could win something. The top 3 people, first place will win a $100 Amazon gift card, everything in 80 Wheeler's photo tool store, the Zone System bundle from Blake, which is like $300. It costs over $300 if you buy it yourself. Mm-hmm. And this is the book you're talking about. A signed copy of Don's Snowflake book. Mm-hmm. All that adds up to over $630, almost $640 worth of value. First place runner-up will get a $50 Amazon gift card, 50% off everything in the Photo Tool store, the Digital Zone System Black and White Beyond from Blake Rudis, and the Beyond the Wheel Color Zone System from Blake Rudis. That's like almost $390 worth of stuff. Second runner-up, $25 Amazon gift card, 50% off everything in the Photo Tool store from A.D. Wheeler, and Digital Zone System Black and White Beyond from Blake Rudis. That's over $200 worth of stuff. So over $1,300 in total.
Wow.
Awesome. And we'll announce the winners of all that next week. All right, now back to the images. So we've done 3. Right? We've done 3?
3,
4?
Yes, we did. 3.
Oh, we've done 3. So number 4 is Christine Haber, the large array.
Right. I love this picture.
Yes. Awesome picture. Awesome picture. All right. Number 5. And this is one of my absolute favorites, but barely made it in, is the blueberry. The blueberries. Made it. I love this image. Fantastic. Last one of the 6. I wish I had the sound effects.
Yeah, we don't have the Google anymore.
Is Daryl's image of New York 9/11.
Oh, thank God that one made it in.
I held that one last just because he was out in chat. I held that one to the end just because he was out in chat. Again, the order that I showed them in is means nothing, and even if it did mean something,
it goes to a whole different.
Yeah, it goes to a whole different judging panel after this, which I'm going to have to get put together right after we get done with this. They will vote on it. Hopefully, I'll have the answers sometimes late this weekend, and then Tuesday next week we'll do a whole review with AD and announce all the winners. Mm-hmm. So even if you weren't in the final 6, be there next week because let me get our shot up, because you could still be a winner. And like you said before, Tim, we had to limit it to 6. I wish we could have done more because there was a lot of shots out there, a lot of images out there that I would have voted for, and I don't think all 6 of mine made it into the finals. You know,
I don't think all 6 that I picked definitely didn't make it in. So
yeah. I was holding out hope. Daryl says, "Yeah, Daryl, I did that to you on purpose. Sorry." I saw you were still out there, so I held it to the end. All right, that really ends the live show this week. We'll be back next week when we have AD on, and I think the next big show we have scheduled, and this is going to be huge, Tim. I don't know who out in chat, if you know this person, but I have been working with this person to get them to come on the show since, what did I tell you, 2012, 2013?
Yeah, 2012.
2012.
Kathleen is actually the one that reached out.
Originally, Kathleen reached out. She's ours now, though. Kathleen can't come on and take it from us. But Meg Bitten reached out to us and said she's ready to come on the show. She has a massive following on Facebook. This will be her first ever, unless she does one between now and then, her first ever interview. I'm not sure she's going to show video. She's a very private person, so I don't know if she wants to show video, but that's up to her. Either way, this will be her very first interview like that. And the chat room could be absolutely crazy. I'm going to make a special page that only has a chat room on it. And we may not do show notes that time, Tim. We may just have you as monitoring the chat room.
Mm-hmm.
I've reached out to Chatwing and asked what is the maximum number of people we can have in a chat room. I don't think we'll hit that because I think it's 5,000 people. But this could be, if she says anything about it at all on her page, this could be a record-setting night for us as far as people in live chat.
Wow.
So be sure to be there. I think it's February 2nd.
Yes, February 2nd.
You'll see more and more about that coming up. Then I'm working on a lot of other guests coming up. Hopefully a guy from NASA that we've been talking with, getting a guy from NASA, which should be interesting. And the start of a whole new year. So,
yes, it is.
Until next week, keep it raw. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.